What was the first service project that you worked on in your life that you can remember?
It was when I was a Girl Scout, and so I had to have been in about 5th or 6th grade, and we went to what we called then an old folks home, which now we call them a nursing home or skilled nursing. And we went at Christmas time, and there was a group of us, of course, as Girl Scouts, probably 8, 10 of us, and we sang Christmas carols and for these people. So that was the very first one that I really remember specifically doing as a group project.
Was there a moment in which you had an epiphany when you knew that service was going to be a major aspect of your life? And if so, please describe that for us.
I think I've known that for a long time.
As long as you could remember.
Probably.
You were just little and you knew.
Well, I certainly knew it by the time I had children. And then you start doing volunteering, whether it be the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts or whatever, or thing that you do with kids.
Do you have a particular spiritual practice?
I do have a spiritual practice these days, and it's more in line with yoga.
Please tell us about it.
It's not necessarily a religion. It is not a religion, but it is a practice where I, through postures and meditation and my service, I've found that I am much more respectful of people, much more tolerant of differences of people, and it's more of a softening of the person, me. It's more of a softening.
One of our viewers either didn't grow up in any particular faith tradition, or they were traumatized in their childhood in such a way that it makes it difficult for them to participate in any faith tradition. But they hear people, they heard what you just said, they've heard some of my other interviewees and what they've said, they've heard about a higher power and etc. So they'd like to have a relationship with such a thing, but they're still afraid. They're still, with a big hard shell on them from whatever their trauma is. Is there a non-threatening, low commitment level, beginner's spiritual practice that you could recommend?
There is an organization called Still Point, and that's where I would really recommend that they try, because it is non-threatening. It's they do a wonderful work there.
Are they?
They're locally. They're on. I don't have the address, but they're on Sahara.
Google knows their address.
Yes, but they are spiritual, but it's your own spirituality.
Who are your heroes?
My mom and my dad. They were raised in the Depression, and that sets kind of a tone. But they were very strong in the things that they believed in and what they wanted for their children. They wanted them to have, of course, a head over their, roof over their head, and food on the table, and education. They gave of themselves, and that's where it comes from genetics, that I do what I do today. But I remember in one particular incident, not one time, but I had some cousins that lived in San Diego and didn't have a father, and the mother couldn't work because of illness. But my dad would take us down periodically to San Diego, and we would go shopping, and we would fill up their cupboards, and we make sure they had shoes to wear and coats to wear. And there was never a mention about that they couldn't have that or anything. It was just something we did. It was just really important to my dad that they be taken care of. And that's the kind of person he was. He would give of himself no matter what it was. He would teach you anything. I learned how to sandpaper the molding around the floor at a very early age so my dad could paint it. So you had life lessons at our house. They were things that you could use and take away with you. And anything that you wanted to learn, he would help you learn it and teach you. And Mom was similar in the fact that she was always there and helped me learn how to sew and that kind of thing, which I use today. A lot of people don't use today, but I do. And I do use it for Make-A-Wish. I do all kinds of pretty princess dresses and Hawaii shirts, aloha shirts, and things like that for our families.
Thank you so much for meeting with me and so generously sharing your time and energy.
Thank you so much for asking me. That was a delight.